Hi guys, welcome back to Coaching Coins. This is Annie, I'm your host today, and today I have a co-host, Tommy.
Hello everyone, I'm Tommy.
Tommy's our fourth year pharmacy student at a college in Houston, Texas, and I'm a pharmacist working at a local hospital. Today we want to talk about smart spending, and we want to share our 2 cents with you regarding some of the financial tips that we wish we've learned earlier, or now we want to share with you. With that, I'm going to go ahead and ask Tommy a few questions, especially what are some things you do to help yourself having smart spending, or just overall reduces your cost of living?
Okay, well, talking about smart spending, I guess I should say that I made a mistake and I wasn't smart at first. The reason being is I didn't set a limit on my spending. I bought everything I want. I went to eat anything I wanted. I didn't really think about my spending, and looking back, I really regret that. And so my biggest suggestion is set a limit on your spending. You want to think about, okay, there's a new phone coming out. Do you really need that phone? You just got one last year. Well, with me, I got a new phone every year, and looking back, that cost me a lot of money. With restaurants, plenty of fancy restaurants. I went to all these restaurants, and then when you got your credit card bill at the end of the month, you're just like, wow, like what have I been doing? So definitely you want to set a limit on your spending. You can think about stuff that you don't need right now. You can wait for it. Talking about waiting for it, oftentimes you'll see that stores offer deals on products. Maybe you have to wait a month or two for it to go on sale, but I mean, if you can wait that month or two, you might as well wait and get it at maybe it's 25% cheaper, and all you have to do is wait 2 months. And if you can't wait, oftentimes you'll see stores they have coupons. Even if you're online shopping, there's coupon codes, free shipping codes. I can't stress that enough. Look online, just go on Google and search for free shipping codes. No one wants to pay shipping and handling, but just go online and look that up.
Or if you have Amazon Prime, which you can subscribe to. As a student, you have a lower rate than like a normal rate. So if you know that you see yourself buying a lot of things online, which I think most of us are for convenience sake, that shipping rate or the discount or the Amazon Prime account may be worth it if you're buying something once a week and paying a lot of money for shipping.
Yeah, another thing to mention though is oftentimes you'll get ads in the mail, the ads for different stores and whatnot, and oftentimes you might just throw them away, but you don't realize that they do have good coupons that you can cut out. You're not going to be called a coupon granny if you use those coupons. The thing is, you don't realize that they have coupons for like allergy meds, toilet paper and stuff. It comes in the mail. Even in college we eat a lot of fast food. There's a bunch of fast food coupons in there. Make sure you go through those, cut out what you're gonna use, and that's part of saving a lot of money. That's what we call smart spending here.
And then also think about, like, if you're not a paper person, there are so many apps now. I mean, honestly, there are a lot of apps that has these type of things where either one app that I use is called Flip. You can look at nearby locations and which grocery stores have the best saving on whatever you're looking for, and you can save a lot of money doing that. So if you're not into cutting physically paper, you can use apps as well as a way to save. You can also think about what are something that do you truly really need, like a 75-inch TV, or is it something that can be waited for Black Friday where the discount can be really deep? So those are some things to think about.
Going further on the app thing, you'll see that a lot of retailers actually have their own personal saving apps, where if you shop there, you basically get like points to build up, and they give you like cash back, or they give you a gift certificate to spend there. So definitely it happens with most major retailers now, and it's expanding everywhere because everything's going mobile now.
Right. And one more thing with the app is there's some apps out there that you can track your spending, which again will help you with budgeting, but they will actually give you reward points, which in turn into cash. So if you're really good about taking picture of your receipts, there's certain apps out there that you can get your money back based on tracking your spending. So it can help with dual purposes.
Okay, and then we're talking so much about spending, and one thing that most people have at this time is a credit card. I remember my first credit card I applied for, I got approved for like a $5,000 credit limit. Well, remember, that's just your credit limit. It doesn't mean you need to spend $5,000 a month. That is not smart spending at all. And a part of using your credit card is you want to make sure that you try to pay the full amount every month. Don't pay the minimum every month. You want to at least pay the minimum, but if you can just pay the full amount, you don't want to have that extra debt on you, basically. And the thing is, credit card companies charge you a huge rate. I believe the average amount is like 15 to 20% interest rate on that, and that's insane. That's additional money you're gonna have to pay back.
Right, so it's like you're buying something for $100, but then end of the month, if you don't pay full, or throughout the year, you may pay $120 or $150, depending on how little you paid off whatever that you're buying, depending on the purchase. So if you can do it, pay in full. I'm a firm believer in, try not to spend money on credit card, but I've been actually starting previous years getting smart with it. Like, I know how much I have. I pretend that my credit card is my debit card. How does that work? So I'll look at my whatever I want, just pretending it's my debit card, because I'll look at my checking, how much I truly want to spend, and I would use the credit card because I know I'll be able to pay in full. One, I get the rewards, right? 2, 3, 4% depending on what you buy. So you get kind of like a little bit of your money back, but again, not trying to go over it. When Tommy talks about not using, if your credit limit's 5,000, you don't want to do 5,000. Ideally, you want to do like 20 to 30% of that. So if your credit limit is 10,000, you really want to spend no more than 3,000, because they look, credit company and FICO score, they look at how much you're truly spending, and if you max out every month, that doesn't look good to them, and that will affect your credit score, which we're going to talk about in another video. But you want to have credit card, but you also want to be smart about it, spending it at what you can afford only, and then pay the full amount so you can start building your credit. The longer your credit card open, the better your score will be. So if you're a resident now, or you're in school, or as early stage as possible, having one credit card and let it run as long as possible will help you build your credit score.
Yeah, definitely. Another thing to mention is don't go out and apply for every single credit card in the world. At least have one credit card, maybe two in case, just in case. And definitely when you're trying to apply for a credit card, I would look at the rewards that you get for it. They give you cash back on certain purchases, and so consider what you spend the most on, and that's how you can determine what credit card you want to apply for. But don't go out and apply for a credit card just because they're giving you like a free shirt, or I don't know. Definitely something to consider.
Yeah, because every time you open a credit card, they actually check your credit, and it actually decreases your credit score. So a credit score range from 350 to 850. Of course, to get a house, to do any big purchases like a house, a car, they'll look at your credit score, and that will affect your interest rate on your loan. So the better credit score you have, the lower your interest rate, hence you'll pay out less. So think about that range. You don't want to be on the lower end because the opposite happened. And if you're gonna, every time you open a credit card or anything, or buying a car or any of sort of that relates to finance, they will check your credit score, and your credit score will dip. It depends on what it is and based on the amount. You definitely don't want to open a credit card at Macy's and then Target. Just, you want to open a credit card with intention. And you also would think about fees,
yes,
right?
Fees.
Why would that matter?
A lot of credit cards, they charge you annual fees, and that's just to use the card. And again, some cards, like if you're only paying minimum, they have varying interest rates that you pay on the card. That's another thing to consider too.
There's some card out there, for example, that has pretty much everything covered, from travel to food. For example, like the Chase Sapphire, they can have really good benefits, but then there's a fee that comes with it. There is usually what I do, and when I start out getting my credit cards, I travel a lot, especially for residency. I would get a Southwest card, but then the points that you accumulate are just for Southwest. So as I grow up, I've learned that I want a card that kind of covers everything and give me more benefits for my bucks. So I would try to get one that covers everything. So the next card that I go to, which is Barclays. So that is a travel card that I can use my points on any airlines I want, or if I want cash back, or travel reward points. That has like an $89 or $90 fee, and they'll give you all these perks. So really start looking at the fees, because it can add up a lot, because you don't want to have 3 different cards that you have to pay $450 for, $100 for, and you have to be able to spend an X amount of money to really even get back to neutral. So for me, when I want to pursue my Barclays credit card, I actually waited at least a year before I closed out my Southwest card. Because another thing is, when you close out a credit card, guess what to your credit score?
Goes down.
Yep. So you gotta, again, longevity with the credit cards is important. So I established my credit here with Barclays first before I closed the other one. And especially, you gotta think about if you have any big purchases coming up, if you have anything that will they require your credit score. You don't want to do anything too risky or too that will affect your credit score. So how many credit cards do you have?
I actually have only 2 credit cards. I still actually do have the credit card that I got when I turned 18. I still have the card, like we said, longevity. Opened the second card, I believe, when I was 21, and I just keep those 2 cards. Like I said, now that you have 2 cards, your credit limit is obviously more because you have the combined credit limit. Again, make sure you don't spend the full credit limit.
Mm-hmm. And if for some reason you at a bond you do have to spend, instead of waiting until the end of the month to pay your bill, if let's say it's the middle of the month and you're able to, like, let's say you spend $3,000 out of a $5,000 limit card, trying to pay off like $1,500. So at the end of the month, when they look at your monthly bill, and that's what you use to calculate your credit score, it looks like you really only spent $1,500 instead of $3,000. So pay it early if you can, like even like a few days early before it hit your final monthly payment. So credit card, I would say there is a way to do smart spending, but you just really have to be very careful. My parents are not believing in credit cards. They say they just have no concept of using that at all. But there is a possibility of like good benefit that come with credit cards. You just have to be judicious, disciplined, and committed to it. And again, I have 4 credit cards, but one I have is from high school, and I kind of kept it. My credit card limit on that's like $1,500. So I was trying to use it once every now and then to buy a grocery, but I kept that ongoing. I really have 4, but only really use one that I pay annual fee on, and I'm again trying to pay full amount because you want to rip as many benefits from it as possible. There's so many options out there that you can take a look regarding credit cards and which one is best for you. For example, I'm a Bank of America customer, so they have a travel reward card that works for me, and it gives me 2% cash back on everything, and it's no annual fee. So you want to start thinking about what are some companies that you work with or that you bank with, and what are some opportunities that you have there. Lastly, when I talk about calculating our net worth and budgeting. So how do you calculate your net worth, and what is net worth for those that don't know out there?
Well, net worth is basically you taking the amount of money or assets that you have and then subtracting like the money that you own or your debt, and that comes up with your net worth. Thing is, when I was younger, I didn't realize that. I only calculated the money I had and the assets I had. So in my head, I was thinking, wow, I'm super rich. This is amazing. Well, once you start thinking about, school loans you have or any other debt that you have, car payments, you realize that you realize your true net worth, and Right now in college, due to all the loans and stuff, you might be at a negative net worth due to the fact that you have all these loans. And once I was kind of aware of that, it really made me reconsider my spending, and that's why I started, doing the smart spending, because all the extra money I'm spending is really just pushing me further down into the negative net worth.
And one thing to know, especially when you're a student or when you're a resident, you may not have mortgage and things. A mortgage that you're still paying rent on is not considered an asset. It's actually a liability, because you still have to put money rent every year. So that's the one biggest thing that most folks think, oh, I have a house, that's my asset. I'm like, no, it's actually the bank's, not yours. If you haven't paid it fully, it's not yours. So think of anything that is worthwhile in terms of that you already have full 100% ownership of it. One thing, I guess in early stages when you haven't got like a full pharmacist job and still in school or training wise, I would say think about a budget. Not necessarily set a budget, but start writing down. It's actually a fun activity. Writing down at least for a whole month all the spending that you have, gas, just anything that you spend on food, etc. You can write it down and start kind of seeing your trends. Most nowadays, again, going through the app, I'm a big technology girl. I use my bank, and they actually tells you what things you have used the most on. And of course, if you have like 1 or 2 credit card or 1 or 2 card that you use the most, they will analyze your spending too. So if you don't want to do it manually, that could also be the way to do it. But I really challenge you to do a 1 month of all your budget that you have or expenses that you use and how much you have, and then kind of look at that and look at it very honestly and consider what are something you can really take out, what are something that you able to cut back on, especially with if you're Tommy's a Yelper or Yelp elite, so he goes out to eat a lot and that's his thing, but maybe that might be the thing that you're okay to splurge on because you're budget for it. If you're a technology person, it may be okay to buy a phone every 2 years or 3 years instead of every year. So again, we're not saying, spend or being able to understand your finance well, because that will help you able to spend your money smart. Because financially, you have to be prudent as well as judicious and being able to commit to whatever you set a budget on. I hope you guys find that helpful, things that we share, and if there are other tips that we are missing out, please post it below for others to see. Again, if you're interested for other videos that are coming up, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you next time.
Bye.
Bye, take care.